Today we will be talking about manufacturing authenticity as a rhetorical device. We will be looking at several factors, including what authenticity means, what manufactured authenticity is and how it is constructed, as well as its importance within the realm of rhetorical study. And we will also be looking at a case study in particular about how manufactured authenticity is used by pop star Taylor Swift. As we have learned from Kenneth Burke, people are symbol-using and abusing creatures who symbolically construct themselves as well as their worldview and their role within that worldview. Importantly, Burke highlights identification construction as a central part of persuasion and rhetoric because it allows for connection and disconnection with others. Rhetoric can be used as a strategic social tool that allows for rearrangement and transformation within the symbolic power of communication, thereby offering opportunities for individuals to alter their identities through discursive devices. Rhetoric itself is affected by, and in turn affects, many different devices used in our symbolic identity construction. Importantly, these devices are not only used internally for identity construction, but are also serving as identity affirmation tools used by others outside of ourselves. Here we will talk about the concept of authenticity as one of the rhetorical devices used in identity construction. Interestingly, though, authenticity is described as an abstract and nuanced concept that is associated with originality and genuineness, achieving a sense of self apart from the impact of socialization, and also it is described as being the organic and true self realized through the rejection of social and cultural norms. Of course, this seems quite problematic considering how much of our identity is constructed within the social realm. So from a rhetorical standpoint, is authenticity even achievable by these definitions? And if not, in what ways is it even useful? Authenticity seems impossible from this definitional standpoint, but it is also highly valued, and therefore exists a rhetorical device called manufactured authenticity that simulates the values inherent in what is considered to be true authenticity, used purposefully and strategically to cultivate a positive personal appearance. Is primarily used as an identity effect, emerging from specific semiotic practices that render the production and uptake, as well as consumption of these effects socially recognizable and legitimate. In his piece, Inauthentic Authenticity, Zhuan Wang notes that authenticity is not a monolithic pre-given, as you might assume from the definitions above, but is actually multifaceted, dynamic, adjustable, and socially constructed, and also socially recognized. It is an identity device oriented towards being a useful, positive social tool that works off being an idealized trait, created rhetorically for a purpose, usually as a persuasive tool. And while the author uses the term authenticity, what we are actually looking at here is what Brooke Duffy calls manufactured authenticity used as a rhetorical device. We can see manufactured authenticity rhetoric used in many different ways, from political advertisements and campaigns, to performances, deliberation discourse, speech writing, but most notably in commercialism and consumerist tactics. Brooke Duffy examined the use of manufactured authenticity specifically within women's magazines, and found that there were three overlapping tropes: promoting natural products, promoting ordinary-looking women, and encouraging self-discovery as a means of reaching authenticity. She argues that these tropes allow for staged authenticity to seep throughout the magazine texts without fundamentally unsettling their traditional commercial function. Authentic advertising is by no means a new strategy, as it is very effective. Manufactured authenticity is a very useful persuasive tool within rhetoric because it allows the audience to feel that the speaker embodies the values of authenticity, which include genuineness, being very truthful, and acting as their pure self. The speaker becomes a more credible source, and the audience is more compelled to regard them as someone with socially positive values. The speaker is also simultaneously distanced from negative concepts such as distrust and selfishness. Here we can see manufactured authenticity being used as a persuasion tool and establishing speaker credibility as an actual calling out of trust. It is important to look at manufactured authenticity within rhetoric for various reasons. The first is that there is a lack of recognition that authenticity itself is strictly defined and is often used as just a shell of its original meaning, which harkens back to Nietzsche's dead metaphor. The blurring of authenticity with social norms is particularly important for marginalized identities, as their authenticity achievement revolves around the normative expectations of the centers and the structural inequality in power and the normativity between the margins and the centers, meaning that those on the outside seek to blend in with those social norms while also being themselves. Instruments of capitalism and mass culture have supplanted true, authentic cultural expressions and have created an environment where the desire to positively self-present is very high, and the use of rhetoric devices such as authenticity are used without understanding the true implications. We see fresh integration of manufactured authenticity in personalized media output, which has foregrounded a new medium through which to see the rhetoric enacted. With the explosive growth of social networking sites and distribution technologies, traditional communication hierarchies are being destabilized as celebrities become more available to their audiences through personalized social media accounts. The appeal of following celebrities on social media sites such as Instagram and Twitter is that the viewership can feel a connection and experience a "they are just like me" mentality, as well as a means to directly interact with their favorite celebrities in a dyadic way, as opposed to the traditional one-sided fan consumption relationship. One such celebrity that utilizes manufactured authenticity masterfully is music star Taylor Swift.
And the only thing, it's a shame that Taylor's not here. That's the only problem. Oh, no way! You can have VIP passes. You are so sweet, Bradley.
Taylor Swift has been celebrated as one of the most authentic celebrities of our time. Being a relatable songwriter, she is highly fan-centric and is an accessible social media user. She has 5 albums, dozens of #1 hit songs, 55.7 million followers on Instagram, 66.3 million followers on Twitter, and a growing presence on the website Tumblr. Social media platforms are typically used as promotion and marketing tools for celebrities, more than mediums for personal fan connection. Swift definitely uses her social media presence as both. She alerts fans when a new single is available, when the new album is going to drop, or if there are concert dates nearby in cities. But she also reaches out and connects with specific fans through her social media platforms with comments, shoutouts, and even gifts. On her most recent tour, film clips are projected onto the screens that flank the stage, displaying the many instances that Swift has singled out numerous fans over the past few years for special attention, recognizing some of her biggest fans, inviting them to meet her backstage, surprising them with holiday or birthday greetings, sending gifts, and sometimes surprising them with visits to their homes. The message that Swift sends with these acts is that she genuinely cares about her fans and wants to interact with them on a personal basis, dismantling the notion that her constructed identity exists as separate from or above those of her fans.
That is a lot of the stuff I went shopping and got yesterday for presents. And that's Meredith.
When fans in turn share these encounters via YouTube or Twitter posts, the message to millions of other fans is that this could happen to you too. Her ability to use such messages and their authenticity appeal helps to construct particularly salient moments, specifically created to increase impact and audience growth. Outside of directly interacting with her fans one-on-one, Swift generates an authentic persona through her heavily followed social media accounts. Social media is, by its nature, embedded in culture and social norms that dictate what is considered to be acceptable and desired output by individuals, and therefore is not usually suitable grounds for displays of true authenticity. This does not stop the use of authenticity rhetoric on social media platforms such as Instagram, however, and in these cases, the intentioned authenticity is seen to be directly in contrast with manufactured and staged photos that are strategically used for positive self-presentation. The resulting manufactured authenticity is considered to be problematic when individuals interact with online media and their perception of everyday life is impacted by the material readily presentable, which can in turn contribute to misrepresentations of what is normal and what is authentic. This is exacerbated by the pressure to positively self-present in social personal media. and by means of social comparison, positive self-presentation is framed through manufactured authenticity and negatively impacts the audience as they reflect on their own experiences as not up to the perceived standard.